was watching it with Ava and Alice, but Ava, and it had a lot to do with purpose, with this man's purpose, and the spark. And so at some point during the movie, Ava turns to me and goes, "Papa, what's a purpose?" I said, I'm like, I'm watching a movie, I'm being entertained, I'm thinking this is cool. And I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta step it up here. How do I explain that to a 4.5-year-old? And I said, well, baby, your purpose is what brought you here to this earth. That's your purpose. It's that spark. It's that your gift, what you're giving, what you are accomplishing. That's your purpose. And she goes, okay. Like 4.5 years old. At this age, they believe everything I say. So, okay. And then she goes, Papa, what's a soul? I was like, okay, now you're really challenging me. Okay, now, so you have a mind, you have a body, you are a soul. It's your spirit, it's your essence, it's who you are. You're unique. That's uniquely you. That's your soul. That's you. She goes, okay. And then she turns to me, she goes, and probably because the way it's represented in the movie, she says to me, Papa, souls are like ghosts. I said, yeah, they kind of got stuck here. They didn't move on. She goes, okay. And so we're watching, and I say, well, so baby, do you know what your purpose is? Do you have a purpose? And she looked off for a second and she said, there are these big red curtains, and she's doing these motions, big red curtains. I'm like, okay. And I'm standing on this thing, and I'm like, red curtains, stage. She goes, yeah, I'm standing on the stage. And there are people out there in their seats. I said, an audience. Yeah, an audience. And I said, well, baby, what are you doing on the stage? She says, I'm a ballerina. I said, wow, that's a beautiful purpose. You bring art and music and dance and joy to people and entertain them. I said, that's a great purpose. I said, so you know what we need to do now? And she's like, no, what? I said, so in order to hone your craft and develop your art and your skills and your abilities to deliver your purpose, let's get you in a dance class. She's okay. Just like that.